Welcome back to Crunch Time Live. I'm your host, Santiago Casanova, and I'm joined today by the very special, all of you probably know him, Jason Petropoulos. How are you doing today?
What's up? What's up? I took the I guess probably a slightly condescending move of putting my Twitter handle in my name there instead of my real name, hoping that the people who listen might know who I am.
For
And
sure.
just follow me on Twitter if you don't. Also follow Cass. Cass is like the viral king these days. He goes viral all the time, and I'm like, teach
Bro,
me the ways, man.
I can't because it's always the dumbest tweets that I think are gonna get no likes that get a ton of likes. So it's just the way of life.
It's the way
We
it
got
goes.
Joe in
I don't
here
know.
saying good morning. Good morning, Joe. How are you, man? He's always in here. Great guy. Well, anyway, let's get started with some breaking news. I saw you sent. I think it's you that sent a push to the
It
app
was me, yeah.
with a little recap. But let's give it to the viewers live right now.
Yeah, so we have a lot of updates. We'll probably just throw names out throughout the show because there's just
Yeah,
so many to cover. But DeAndre Swift is not only out, but is now a candidate to be placed on IR,
bro.
which would just
Awful.
be awful with the playoff run coming up.
Yeah,
Elijah Mitchell is out, so he continues to deal with nagging injuries. Keenan Allen, we all know, is out. Mike Williams possibly will play, expected to play. Elijah Moore was placed on IR, so he's not just out for
crazy.
this week, he's out for at least 2 more weeks. What else am I missing? Chase Edmonds is a game time decision on Monday night. I don't know about you, Cass, but I'm not starting Chase Edmonds. I can't do
Yeah,
it.
I don't want to, but I have to in a couple places. Well, one place in particular because I had DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, who is, by the way, also out on the COVID list. So I have no choice but to trust in Chase Edmonds on Monday. So that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. That's just a whole lot of craziness going on right now. Daryl Henderson also on the COVID list. So Sony Michelle, super strong start, in
Yeah,
my
back in.
opinion. Who else am I missing?
Oh well, if you want to get deeper, Harrison Bryant and David Njoku are both out this week.
I
So
think I don't know if I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but I think me and Cass both agree that it's Austin Hooper week today.
oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you can just drop it. We're just breaking news, giving people the roundup. They have a very good matchup against the Ravens, and he's alone in that tight end room. So it's Austin Hooper week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, me and the bros always talk about how the Browns' number one receiver is their tight end group, and it's really annoying for fantasy football purposes. But that's why they're not a great fantasy football team. Like it goes to Bryant and Njoku, Hooper, but when there's only one tight end in that offense that relies on the tight end, it's like impossible for Hooper not to have a good day.
For sure. Yeah, I remember I had Hooper as my sleeper sometime around week 3 or something like that. And I got the tight end room as a sleeper, right? Hooper not quite, but Njoku went for like 160 and 2 TDs or something like that. So you can always have that coming from the Browns tight ends, and this is a good week for that to happen.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to start Austin Hooper if I can.
You got man in the chat saying much love, much respect. Even if he didn't have a name, I know that's man because that's a signature.
Matt, exactly. He already has a tagline.
Yeah. Trademark Mad line. The other player news we have is Taysom Hill is expected to play. Joe Burrow is expected to play. Joe Mixon is also expected to play. And their starting corner for both the Bengals and the 49ers is out. So we might see a lot of scoring for wide receivers in this game because they each lost a starting corner. That makes me happier to start Dibo, who was questionable but expected to play, and also T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, maybe even Tyler Boyd if you need to.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest Tyler Boyd fan just because his role has such a low ceiling, but I do think that it's a positive for the team overall, fantasy
Mm,
purposes,
for sure.
that Joe Mixon is playing hurt. Because what are the odds we're gonna give this guy 35 touches, dude? Like they might pull a Dalvin
Yeah,
Cook and do it. I mean, but I feel like that was different. Like they said, Dalvin Cook's playing. He's played in a shoulder harness before, and we knew he was going to get a workload. So it was
yeah.
like, all right, fire up Dalvin Cook. So you're firing up Joe Mixon too. But this team is so good around Joe Mixon, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Jermar Chase comes out of his tiny slump and catches a 50-yard touchdown today.
For
T.
sure.
Higgins has been balling out. I'm firing up those two guys happily. Tyler Boyd, more PPR option, but I don't really like a slot safety option in an offense that doesn't throw that much.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But if there was one week to start him, probably this week. I mean, he has been great for me all year. I got clowned for a trade I did in the offseason, and it's been panning out real well with Tyler Boyd. So I just got to defend my guy, you know? So he's been decent all season. And that's all I can say right now. All right, that's enough for player news. When we get some confirmation for the later slate, we'll update you on that. Right now, it's question time. What you all come here for? Let's get it started with Clayton Jones. Says PPR 1 point for every 10 carries, which is interesting. Need one Burkhead or Penny. I want to hear your thoughts on this, especially with Penny involved.
Yeah, the number one Penny hater over here. I've been calling him a Dadu for years. Believe it or not, I am riding the Rashad Penny train.
Look at
I
that.
prefer him to Burkhead here. We've seen 2 weeks now of Burkhead getting a decent amount of work and just being a scrub with it. And it's not entirely his fault
Awful.
either, but the Texans' offense is just so bad. And now with Davis Mills at the helm again, it could possibly be worse. So Rashad Penny, we saw get 10 carries the last time he was on the field. And now Adrian Peterson, the guy who had 11 carries, is out of the game. He's not playing today. Travis
Yeah,
Homer's also out. We know DJ Dallas isn't very good. And the Seahawks have
we
just
do.
been trying so hard to get Rashad Penny involved in their offense for years now. Just trying, just dying to do it. That's Pete Carroll's wish before he retires. Get Rashad Penny into some NFL action.
Oh yeah.
And lining up against Houston this week, I really do think Rashad Penny is a pretty strong flex play. Back end RB2 if you really need the help. I'm all for starting him over Rex Burkhead.
But I agree 100%. Even if he's a little more risky because all the promise of volume is all speculative. Burkhead, we've seen what he can do. We know what he can do, but what we've seen and what we know is bad. So I'd rather take the risk on Penny. For the loyal Broto followers and listeners for a while, you'll get this, but we were shocked yesterday when Jason dropped Ryan Tannehill for Rashad Penny. It was just incredible.
That's
Uncanny.
it's the craziest thing I've ever done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's just insane. So if you know Jason, you know how insane that is. Moving on, this is a dynasty team. Oh, you may know this from watching the show, but Matt always gives just the incredible amounts of detail on his questions. But MVS or Jalen Guyton, 16 team PPR Superflex dynasty. Team is ugly, but I own my opponent's pick. MVS or Guyton? I'm leaning MVS, bro.
First I want to say, Matt, I love you for the details. All we needed to know that it was PPR, but love the details for it.
It's awesome.
I gotta agree with you, Cass. I think MVS has gotten almost 20 targets the last 2 weeks. His average depth of target is almost 20 yards. And now the Bears, according to Football Outsiders, are 30th in the league in deep ball defense. So I think this is lining up for a very good MVS day. I have him in my 20s in my rankings.
I loved MVS like the first couple of weeks. I think I featured him in a buy low article because he was getting the targets and the opportunities downfield that were valuable. So if they're playing these weak Bears when it comes to deep passes, MVS is the one that benefits most from it, and I think this is a prime position, especially Aaron Rodgers playing against the Bears, where you have some history there. So it's perfect opportunity.
Also, like the problem with people with high average depth of target is that those are tough balls to complete.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's coincidence that MVS has been a little bit better when he's seeing 10, 9, 8 targets a game. Because when you have more opportunities to catch those balls, good things happen. When you're
Oh
only
yeah,
getting 4 targets that are 50 yards down the field, there's a lot less chances for you to actually make that play.
yeah,
So
for
I like
sure.
MVS this week.
Absolutely, we agree again. It's awesome.
Look at us.
Look at us on a roll. We have one from Alejandro Mantilla. He says, "Let's get up, boys. Full PPR: Jeff Wilson or Ty Johnson." Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's not a decision I want to have. But we'll give you our best analysis here.
Cass, my best analysis is I want you to say that name again because it was gorgeous coming out of your mouth.
Alejandro Mantilla.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Look, you might disagree with me, Cass. You said it's yuck, but I'm all aboard the Jeff Wilson train today.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I just think that recency bias is turning its ugly head again. I know that he wasn't great last time he played, and he looked like he was hurt last time he started. But we're acting like he didn't have 19 carries in a Kyle Shanahan game where he had a wide open
True.
touchdown that Jimmy G just inexplicably missed. Like me and you could have made that throw to Jeff Wilson.
Inexplicably, or is that a very expected from Jimmy G?
Just
Sometimes
a very expected misthrow by Jimmy G.
Yeah.
So it's like, look, if he had 15 half PPR points in that game instead of 6, people are like, oh, Jeff Wilson, strong start. I'm telling you, like, I really think that would be the thought around him. So I'm cool with I have him at running back 21. Ty Johnson was giving up carries to Austin Walter recently.
Yeah.
We're supposed to trust that guy?
No, absolutely not. I'm definitely with you with Jeff Wilson, especially in PPR, because he's been known to get the targets sometimes. So yeah, I like Wilson, especially against Cincinnati, because they have a soft defense against running backs. So I'd much rather play him. I mean, the Jets get New Orleans. Nah, stop that. Jeff Wilson all the way.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for the Jets running backs, and you don't even know who's going to get the carries.
Absolutely. Yeah. It became more clear as we discussed it. That's why I love crunch time, because we get to bounce ideas and just finally reach the conclusion. This is great. So yeah, there you go, Alejandro. That's Jeff Wilson for us. Hanson de la Garza alias Mark Arias says, "What up, boys? Got a question? Dibo or Sony Michel?" I love Sony, but it's clearly Dibo in this case, right?
I think this is tougher than you're making it seem. This is a starting running back for the Sean McVay offense that just makes stud running backs. The Arizona Cardinals defense has been bad at defending the run, according to many metrics. Let me go check their defensive points over average, but I know a lot of PFF like rushing numbers, they're not very good. They're the 10th best matchup against running backs, so there is some green there. And then you have the question of how much is Dibo going to play?
I mean,
like I feel like
I saw Nick make the comparison. Like, this is pretty much like the Dalvin Cook situation, but for Dibo. Am I wrong?
But I think the difference here, no, I think you're right, but I think the difference here is Sony Michel is just a slam dunk option this week. I have him as an RB1.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you're probably right, but Dibo Samuel is the wide receiver 4 on the year.
That's also correct.
So
it's a really tough decision.
Tougher. Yeah.
I'd like to know
if you can start both.
Exactly. Who are you sitting Sony Michel for right now? Because I think
sure.
Sony Michel's not getting enough love. It's also full PPR, as I see in the next comment.
Yeah, you're right.
So we'll give the slight edge to Dibo. I think that's where you're leaning, at least.
I am, yeah.
Maybe hit us up with another question of who you're sitting Sony Michel for, because that's more interesting, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'll try to find a way to start both. Like, the fact that it's a question from wide receiver and running back, I can safely assume that it's a flex that he's wondering about, which makes me, optimistic that there's a world where he can start both if there's a scrub.
He just commented that he could start both.
Ooh.
So let us know who you can start him over, and we'll get back to
yeah, because those are very good options. Clayton says, "Thanks, fellas. You're welcome, man. Good luck this weekend." All right, we have Zane or Venche. I'm sorry, that's not my area of expertise when in last names, but
you don't sound as sexy saying that one.
Hey, I'll take that. Evans, Cooper, Debo, and Hopkins. I'm assuming it's Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So, uh, good problem to have, first off, but probably benching Jesus Cooper.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I do like this as a get right game for Amari Cooper. He's been out for so long. The Cowboys have been struggling. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Amari Cooper has a great game. The issue here is all of these receivers are ranked top 18 for me. Like, it's just a really good receiver group.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
is.
when you have to make decisions like that sometimes, it's like, I'm probably going to be wrong, but let's not be as wrong as possible. Let's not start the
Yeah.
guy who gets 2 and jump bench the guy who gets 30. And I just think right now Cooper has the lowest upside.
Yeah, yeah, you have to go for the guys when you have good guys that can probably have a slightly decent floor. You go for the ones that also have a home run potential, and Cooper just hasn't been it recently, so that's why I would start the other three.
It's a good problem to have, though. Job
Yeah,
well
yeah,
done,
for
sir.
sure.
Yeah.
That's a good management all year. Have one
Probably
another
a
one from.
playoff team, if I had to
Oh
guess.
yeah, 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 no doubt. I mean, Debo. Hopkins hasn't been a super stud this year, but he's still coming back from the
Dibo
injury.
made
So,
up for it.
oh yeah, we have one from your favorite Alejandro, and he
There it is.
says Taysom Hill or Kyler. Probably dumb, but he need most points possible to beat another team for playoff spots. So which should I lean? I can't sit Kyler, man. I'm sorry. I know some. Well, Tim mostly is just the biggest Taysom Hill fan, but
Yeah, look,
Kyler's
I'm not
Kyler.
gonna lie. I have Taysom Hill as my third ranked quarterback this week.
Nice,
He
nice.
could run wild against the Jets, just absolutely berserk. But
Possible.
I have Kyler Murray. It's my second option because it's Kyler fucking Murray.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he came back from injury last week, only completed 15 passes, and was the QB1.
He's insane, man. Matt Ward
Yeah.
will appreciate that, man.
In a primetime game against the Rams, I'm sure he's going to come out looking to prove that the Cardinals aren't this pushover because no one's giving him the respect they deserve.
You want
They
to
have the
hear something
best record in
crazy?
the NFL, and no one
Oh
cares.
yeah. I mean, they've been winning games with Colt McCoy at the helm, like comfortably
Yeah, dude.
winning. So, and you want to hear something insane?
I
The
do.
Rams are the third best matchup for rushing QBs. So you know what that means? It's just carnage.
Smells like points to me.
Oh yeah, it does. So yeah, Taysom's a very good option for fantasy. Kyler's just better. Because he's Kyler.
Yeah.
So there you go, Alejandro. So good luck with that. Another one from Zane. He says, start one, Javante, Melgo, power combo, or Devonta Freeman. Lost out Henderson and did not have Sony.
Sony would have been nice.
Yeah, he would. Freeman
Look,
or Javante? Because Melgo, I
that's the
don't think
thing.
he's an option.
Yeah, Melgo's coming off injury. Javante killed it last week without him. I'm not trusting Melgo out of this three. I
Yeah,
have Javante and Freeman back to back. Freeman's been a very solid running back too recently.
yeah, he has.
You can't
Insane.
understate that. But Javante Williams is coming off a great game. Even the week before, he had 17 touches against the Chargers.
Hmm.
He's been a top 10 back 2 weeks in a row. Now, I do think the hype's getting a little crazy around him since Melgo
Yeah,
is returning. But
that's
against
true.
Detroit, I'm still firing him up.
Exactly.
Happily.
It's Detroit.
Yeah.
5-star matchup per the start set tool in the fantasy football by Brodo app. Go download that. So yeah, I think the matchup helps. And I was just looking at the numbers. Yes, Freeman has been very solid. He's averaging 9.8 points per game, PPR. But Javante's averaging 12.4 in a timeshare. So that's even more impressive. And now he gets Detroit, hopefully with a better split of the carries now that he lit the world on fire last week and maybe leans 60-40 in his favor. And that in itself is just a big boost for him. So I think Javante is the play.
I agree. And listen, I'm going up against Javante Williams in my FFPC championship this week, and I already went up against Dalvin Cook. So I'm hoping for the worst for Javante Williams, but I still think he's the play here.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
biases aside.
Hoping for the worst.
And I hope I'm wrong.
Evil man. All right. Good luck, Zane. Hopefully we get it right. It's not an easy decision, but We give you all the analysis. Nick Doso, longtime patron, says Amon-Ra St. Brown or Josh Reynolds. I got 9 guys hurt over COVID. That sounds about right. Like you sound like the Detroit Lions right now.
Ay, ay, ay.
That's also not a very pretty decision.
No.
I think I mean, because they've alternated games as the wide receiver one in Detroit. Thanksgiving game, Reynolds killed it. Then last game, St. Brown got 12 targets, which is just crazy, and he got the game-winning TD. So it's a guessing game at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Reynolds just because we've seen this happen with Amon-Ra before. Him,
Oh yeah,
Khalif Raymond, and others just have been trading off wide receiver one performances.
yeah.
Whereas Reynolds, since he came in to Detroit, has been a little bit more consistent. 5 targets, 7 targets. You know what you're going to get from him. I'd go the slightly safer route and hope that Josh Reynolds finds the end zone. I'd roll with Reynolds in this one.
Yeah, I don't have a strong argument for either, so I'll just go with you, trust you, and say Reynolds. Because hey, I don't know if you watchers and listeners know this, but Jason has been a top ranker for both tight ends and wide receivers like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Guys are on an absolute streak.
Oh,
So,
snap.
oh, there you go, there you go. So I'm trusting him with this decision. He's just been killing it. All right, we have this from Mark Arias. He has Montgomery and Javante in place of Sony. I think that's in reference to that. So
good team.
tough. Yeah, that's a very good team.
I don't think you could say Monty right now. He's getting 88,000 touches a game.
I don't know how he didn't slay against Detroit. I'm still pissed about that. But yeah, he has been great recently. So
honestly, we were just talking about him. Call me crazy. I'm sitting
were.
Javonte Williams in this one.
Oh, you know, I don't disagree because Sony Michel is just a different thing right now. He's plugging in for the starter. We seen him do good things last week, and Javante's back to timeshare against Detroit though. Man, this is a tough decision.
Rams lead back though against Arizona. He's basically guaranteed to find the end zone at some point. He's going to get at least 20 touches. I just can't sit someone with that much guaranteed work.
True. Next question. I don't know why I'm doing this, but next question would be who are the wide receivers? So you can plug in Dibo, keep Sony Michel at the flex, and then set a wide receiver because I don't want to see any of these guys. I mean, team's still looking super solid for Mark. So, man, what a good team. You're going to win. So I think it comes down to wide receivers now. We have to keep going.
Monty, Williams, and Michelle. Keep Dibo in, but sit one of his receivers.
Yeah. That's where we're at right now. I'm just hoping there's like one guy that stands out, could be sit, and we figure it out. We figure out the puzzle soon. Another one from another one from Zane. Sorry for the influx of questions. Don't apologize. Ask more. That's what we're here for. Yeah. So start to mix and Chubb or Michelle. Another great question. Or I can start all 3 and bench Kittle. Oh no, don't do that. But that's tough. I mean, oh man.
You know,
go ahead.
Call me crazy. Michelle is like my favorite start from this bunch. People might be listening today and thinking I'm crazy, but Sony Michel, in my opinion, is a strong RB1, man. Arizona's not a great run defense. A Monday night primetime game. Sean McVay running backs always do great. He was the running back 4 last week. I know it was a game against Jacksonville, but I can't sit Sony Michel. I think the question here is, do you trust Nick Chubb or trust that Joe Mixon's going to get the work?
Now, here's another interesting angle to this. Nick Chubb is playing Baltimore, and last time they played Baltimore, he was doo-doo. It was actually like 2 weeks ago because they're playing him straight after the bye.
Yeah.
And he was bad. Kareem Hunt was my bust, and he was also bad. So that's something to consider. Also, Mixon's coming back from injury. We think he might be a little bit limited. Michelle is probably the start, like you said. And I don't want to bench Kittle. Like, there's 0 chance in my league. Like, I don't want to bench Kittle. He could put up 30 every single game.
He's just been so good recently. He's obviously trying part of the offense. But I will say, with Dibo returning, if it's not a full PPR league, I get benching Kittle. Right now,
Yeah,
though,
all right.
my gut's telling me to sit Joe Mixon, and that might be my years of hate against him. But
Could be,
at
yes.
some point, his touchdown streak needs to end. He's been out all week fighting an illness. I just don't know if a non fully 100% Joe Mixon is going to find the end zone and is going to perform up to par when you have options like that around him.
Man, this is tough. This is very tough, not gonna lie. So you leaning what, sitting Mixon?
That's where I'm leaning. And it hurts me to say
I
that
don't hate
because
it.
I
Because
know it's a little
yeah,
wild.
he's been good. He has been very good. You have to say it. But yeah, that's probably the right decision. So man,
Unless
good luck,
if
Saint.
it's like half PPR or standard, I don't hate sitting Kittle for Mixon
Yeah,
though.
I agree. I agree. If it's full PPR, start Kittle. If it's standard or even half PPR, sit Kittle and start the other three. But look at this. All right, you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. Hanson, aka Mark, said the wide receivers are Tyreek Hill and Cooper Cup. I mean, this is the best team of all time.
Yeah,
So
dead
yeah,
ass.
the Dibo. That's the conclusion we're at then. Because the only reason I'm saying that is because of the injury designation recently. If he was 100% healthy, I'm sitting Michelle, even if Jason hates me. But this week, with everything that's going on, the injury and coming back probably limited, I'm sitting Debo.
Yeah, I'm either sitting Debo or Javonte Williams.
Mm,
Honestly, with your team,
true.
I don't know if it even matters.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
Yeah, that's a great team. Just go with your
It's
gut
one of the
between those
best
two, in my
I've seen.
opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, we have another one from Psych Ward. Oh, without details. I don't know if I want to answer that then. Van Jefferson or OBJ? Oh, it's
Ah,
a Twitter
the
question.
Ram counterparts.
Oh yeah, this is another one, kind of like Josh Reynolds and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Except these two are way more entitled.
That's very true. Yes.
Shout out to, I'm gonna butcher his name, Nick Bollier.
Hey, you
Our
nailed it.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Our writer extraordinaire, who has OBJ as his bust this week, and he has some appealing arguments in there. Two of which are that, well, one of which is that he's been a one play guy the last 2 weeks, as a long touchdown and a short touchdown, both of which salvaged his fantasy days.
Very true.
You can't always count on a touchdown, and I honestly just think that Van Jefferson is higher in true target value right now. He's seeing the more valuable targets. He's the guy that's been on the team all year, has a stronger rapport with Matt Stafford right now.
Yeah, true.
You haven't seen Matt Stafford throw dumb interceptions, forcing the ball to Van Jefferson like you already have seen with OBJ.
For
So
sure.
I'm firing up Van Jefferson, who also has a touchdown in each of the last 2 games, who has seen 17 targets. I think he's the safer play and even has more upside, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I know this is taking into account the Cleveland days, but Van Jefferson still averages more points per game than OBJ. So there you go. You have that too. Um, just as a little intermission, if you're watching on Twitter and are wondering why we're not answering your question, you have to go on YouTube for me to see the questions. Unfortunately, Twitter does not let me see the comments or subtweets or whatever. So you have to go on YouTube. Brodo Fantasy on YouTube, Crunch Time Live. You can look it up, and we'll answer your questions from YouTube, 100%, guarantee. We always get to 100% of the questions.
Quick cheat code, real quick, because I do this and it's amazing. You can't, unless you have like YouTube Premium, you can't close the screen and also listen to us. But if you go to our app and you open Crunch Time Live full screen and then you toss it up, you could have us in the corner and listen to us while also doing other things on your phone.
Look at that, bro. Didn't know that.
Giant
I legit
cheat
did not
code.
know that.
Yeah.
So shout out the Brodo
That's
app.
how I listen every week. I pop it up into the corner, I listen, and then I'm just doing
Nice.
other fantasy stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. I didn't know that. So we are like a better YouTube. The Fantasy Football by Brodo apps have better
Exactly.
YouTube, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll even, you know what? I'll even drop the YouTube link underneath if. No, I'm not. You know what? Go to the app. You go get the Fantasy Football by Brodo app. Is free, and you can even listen better than YouTube. So there you go. Shout out Jason for that trick. Psych Ward FF. But yeah, if you're on Twitter and you're just listening, that's fine. If you want to ask questions, you have to go to the Fantasy Football by Brodo app. or YouTube to ask questions. Psychward says K1 QB1. Yeah, it is known. It is known. All right, we got one from main man, Funky Monkey Nuts. He says, "Oh, Funky Monkey Nuts 2. I'm sorry.
Do you know who that is?
No clue.
I don't know if I'm
Uh,
blowing up the spot, but that's Tim. That was Tim's aim. So I think he's trying to hide the fact that he's asking this. But that's Tim. So
Yeah, I mean, I would have figured it out with the question because he asked it in the group chat earlier. But yeah, Tony Pollard, Trequan Smith, or Godwin Igwebuikwe.
Oh, I thought he said Godwin, like Chris Godwin. I was like, what the fuck kind of a question is this?
Oh, no, it's Godwin Igwebuikwe.
Yeah,
the RB1 for the Detroit Lions. I think I like Smith out of the bunch because I know he disappointed last week, but he didn't disappoint 2 weeks ago. He was kind of splitting with Deontay Harris a little bit, but now Harris is suspended for drunk driving. So I think I like Smith as a play. I don't think Godwin Igwebuike is going to be a decent option with Jermar Jefferson. They're just splitting touches. And Pollard is a game time decision with his torn fascia planta, or I don't know if that's it. I said that backwards, but I like Smith.
Tim just texted us. You guys found out my burner. But also, breaking news according to Tim, Tony Pollard is out.
Oh, so
it's
that makes
the
a
Zeke
bit
show
easier.
in Dallas. And if I was gonna say you don't want to start Tony Pollard this week, regardless, with all the injuries he's dealing with.
True.
Well, with the injury, a torn plantar fascia, like it's a torn bone in your foot, and he's a running back. Doesn't sound great.
It's a bone?
It's a bone. So it's a thing that's like connects your heel and like the rest of your foot, like it's the bottom, and then sometimes it just breaks.
Sounds painful. Yeah.
Surprisingly, that injury heals quicker once it breaks rather than just dealing with the pain of it. But I'm cool with Smith just because you don't know how the difference between Jermar Jefferson and Igwebuikwe is going to be. So I'm cool with starting Trequan Smith of that group.
The only problem I would see with that is that the Jets are not the softest against wide receivers. They're very, very soft against running backs. Still, I guess we could see some action on the air and Taysom.
I mean, at some point, they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit. And because it's going to be the Taysom Hill and Kamara show. But when a defense has to be that committed to the running back, like it might be like a wildcat offense.
Yeah.
So when they're that committed to stopping the run, Trequan Smith just has to get loose one time.
True. And that's where they specialize in, like Deontay Harris and Trequan Smith. They were just always running those deep routes, homegrown routes. So I think this is.
By the way,
go ahead.
Tim is still correcting us. Fucking, he should have just been on the show. It's a torn. It's a muscle, not a bone. But either way, so the muscle completely tore. Yeah.
That sounds painful, especially in your foot. That just feels weird. But anyway, we have a nice message from Zane. Says, good luck to everyone in the feed also. So, yeah, you get good luck from us and good luck from Zane. So,
good guy, Zane, even after you butchered his name.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. If you want to put up your pronunciation there, I'll try to be better next time. Daniel England says, Gallup or Crowder half PPR. This was interesting. I'll let the Jets fan take this first.
Real quick, I know who I want. What's your gut telling you?
My gut? I kind of want to go with Crowder, bro, honestly.
That's my answer, too.
There you go.
Amari Cooper's back. CeeDee Lamb's healthy. Zeke is going to have the show to himself. Dalton Schultz is still getting targets. There's a good Cowboys offense with a lot of weapons. Right now, Jamison Crowder is in a bad Jets offense with no weapons. He's basically the only weapon.
Yeah.
And in games where he's been the only receiver for the Jets, there's no Corey Davis, there's no Elijah Moore. Even in years past,
Michael Carter.
There's no Michael
Coleman.
Carter. Yeah, like when there's no other weapons around, Jamison Crowder just gets peppered, and that's because he's a reliable slot receiver who knows how to get open.
Yep.
And I think that Crowder's a strong play today. I'm putting him in over Gallup for sure.
Agree, 100%. Let's get it. Especially, I mean, well, if it was full PPR, you'd be even more Crowder because he just gets peppered. But half PPR is still the answer. Remember that? Good luck, Daniel. Remember that the question of Josh Reynolds and Mon Ra? We have more options. Could be Kenny G or Emmanuel Sanders.
I don't love Emmanuel Sanders. So I noted this on the Thursday pod. Used to be a Wednesday pod. Dwayne McFarland of PFF noted that the Bucks play 70 something percent zone,
Yep.
and against zone defense this year, Cole Beasley has a 22% target share. So Cole Beasley's really their guy that they use to beat zone,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Very good route runner. He knows where to find the holes. He knows where to stop running and where to get Josh Allen's attention.
For sure.
So I don't love Emmanuel Sanders. I think it's going to be a Cole Beasley, Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs type game.
All
I
right.
think
All right.
Emmanuel
Fair.
Sanders probably the odd man out. So then it's Kenny G, Amon Ra, or Josh Reynolds. Galladay's a little tempting.
Stop. And I was the biggest Galladay proponent this offseason. And I said it live on the show last week. Last week was the last time I was giving Galladay any sort of chance. I know he got injured and it's not ideal, but still, he wasn't doing a lot. And then he's getting passes from Mike Glennon, dude. Like, what are you doing? What are we doing?
I think that's fair. He's also playing hurt, and he
Yeah.
was not even good
Yeah.
when he was healthy. So
Exactly. So I cannot trust him. I still like Sanders here over both. I know I like your argument about the zone coverage and stuff, but it's still playing the Bucks, who have given a ton of points to wide receivers. I know more to maybe slot guys because they play zone, but they still give a ton of points to wide receivers. And Emmanuel Sanders has been averaging over 10 in PPR, while the other guys have not done anything like that. Like neither Reynolds, St. Brown, or Galladay average over 10. Sanders does and has a better matchup than all of them.
I get that. Sanders has also been outside the top 45 receivers 4 weeks in a row.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
Like his role was larger to start the year. I'm rolling with Josh Reynolds still. That's the guy I have ranked the highest.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Um, you know what? I can get behind that. I don't have a strong argument for Sanders at all. And like you said, those past 4 weeks are very discouraging. So I think Reynolds has a little bit more potential. Yeah, we had Joe filling in for I guess his brother and giving us the full the full info. But anyway, moving on to we have this is a new question asker. I haven't seen this name. Austin Curtis, Crowder, Gage, or Van Jefferson? It's we're still running with Crowder out of this crowd. Or you want Jefferson?
In full PPR,
What's that? 3 flex league? Crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Add flexes, get rid of kickers. That's what I say. But it's between Crowder and Van Jefferson for me. In full PPR, Crowder's enticing. But I think either way, I'm going Van Jefferson. I don't know if I could bench him. He's just been very good. He's essentially the number 2 in a Matt Stafford, Sean McVay offense. Because with Daryl Henderson out too, Sony Michel's not going to see as many targets as Daryl Henderson does. Tyler Higby's a giant to do.
So man, he's my bust this week, by the way.
Yeah, I don't blame you. He's just not good. And Van Jefferson's had 7 or more targets every week except 1 since week 7. He's been heavily involved in this offense. He's been a top 30 receiver most of the weeks. I can't bench Van Jefferson. I'm rolling with him.
That's fair. Yeah, and I think I may be putting a little bit too much trust in the Jets offense, just saying Crowder outright. So I think Van Jefferson really does have
I get you though. I get why Crowder's enticing.
No, yeah,
He's
for
the
sure.
only person in that offense.
Yeah, but still, the Jets offense and the defense can just zero in on Crowder and take him away. So yeah, I think Van Jefferson is a much better option, and you'll have something to play for on Monday night. You can get that Monday night miracle thrill. So that's a bonus point right there. Sam G. Wire, which player do I sit? Half PPR: Renfro, Dibo, Montgomery, Michelle, or Jay Williams? I'm assuming it's Javonte because Jamal has been declared out. This is very similar to the other one we had. Very similar. Got Montgomery, got Williams, got Michelle, got Dibo. Renfro's the other, the odd man out. But what do you think?
Yeah, it looks like Dibo is causing a lot of headaches today.
Oh yeah,
for sure. This is tough, man. You really don't know what to expect from Dibo, but he's been so damn good. And the thing is, the 49ers need to win games, but they also know how important Dibo is to their offense. So would they rush him back? if he wasn't ready. I don't know if they
Uh,
would.
I don't know what NFL coaches have in their head at all, so I cannot comment on that. So
I think similar to the one earlier. Right now, I'm leaning sitting Javonte Williams. If you want to go safer route, then you bench Debo because there's always a chance that he's a decoy or he gets hurt again and ends up with 0 points.
yeah, and what's making these questions tougher, and it's a good thing, is that they have decent or good options otherwise. So it's not gonna be a killer if Debo has a good game, because you're probably gonna get a good game from the other guys as well. So just out of risk of being a decoy or limited at all, Debo might be the. It feels ugly to say, but Debo might be the one you sit. Man, if Debo goes off, they're never gonna watch the show again. So
Well, that's why you say Debo or Javonte Williams.
yeah, it's pretty much the same situation we had earlier, like where you have to make a choice between Debo and Javante, and man, nah, I cannot say Javante, man. It's got to be Debo probably,
Yeah, I
man.
mean, it depends how risk averse you are.
Yeah,
Depends if you
oh,
want
for
to
sure,
take that
for
shot
sure.
on Debo. He has a high upside, low floor
Yeah,
for sure.
but this is like if you played against Dalvin Cook on Thursday night and you need the boom, you probably go Debo and take that risk that he's limited. If you are comfortable, if you had Dalvin Cook and comfortably leading, or had, I don't know, Justin Jefferson, who was decent too, like you can take the floor with Javonte Williams and not worry about probably getting a 0 or a 2 in your lineup. So yeah, you have to make that decision depending on your situation, which we don't have all that info. So
Yeah, that's a solid point.
you go Sam Sama. Well, good luck with that. All right. Hanson, aka Mark, says, "Thank you guys. You're welcome, man. Hopefully it works out, and then good luck. You had a great team, so that's pretty cool." We have one from Marjorie Chambers who says, Vortec.
Totally, I agree.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Pretty much. I mean, is
That's
there
my
another
favorite
question?
player.
Yeah. We have one from Fabian Mantilla says, RB2 should start David Johnson, Rashad Penny, or head the waiver wire for Iwibuike, Mike Davis, or Zach Moss. I know your answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna regret it probably, but I'm rolling with Mr. Currency. I'm taking Rashad Penny today out of the
Jesus.
bad options.
Hey, I like that. I like that. Honestly, I would too. David Johnson was only like even considered to be startable against the Jets, and he put up like 7 points. But like, what was that? Zach Moss has been a healthy scratch a couple times. Mike Davis, I don't trust him. I'm we can. I still don't trust him. So Rashad Penny, who I also don't trust, is the best option.
Yeah, the best of the worst.
Yeah, we got some nice people telling us that Paula was officially out, but I missed it because I was looking higher up in the chat. My bad. Uh, but thank you anyway. We got another from Joe. Says hermano full PPR, Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon. This is
The question.
yeah.
I'm call me naive or whatever you want, or
Mm.
holding on to hope. I still think Aaron Jones is the number one in that offense.
Yeah, me too.
AJ Dillon barely outsnapped him when he came back hurt with a bye week coming. So it made sense the Packers wouldn't fully utilize Aaron Jones. Coming off
Yeah,
a bye week now in a game against Chicago, I just think that they're gonna give Aaron Jones most of his old role back. AJ Dillon will still be involved, but it's not nothing new. We saw Jamal Williams involved last year.
yeah,
So of the two, though, I'm taking Aaron Jones.
I agree 100%. Dillon's time will come, but not yet. So I'm still going Aaron Jones, and Chicago is not good, but not bad matchup either. So yeah, go with Aaron Jones. Big Will, or Bill freaking won't, as he is known around these parts. Morning, fellas. Sorry, broke the polar news before burner, Tim. But yeah, quick and easy question: Taysom Hill or
Tim has
Kyler
been
Murray?
found.
Yep, we got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. We already answered this for a different person, but we like Kyler over Taysom. Taysom's like number 3, but Kyler's number 2. So there you go. Not too much. Quick and easy, like you said. Ooh, we have one from Mr. Michael Petropoulos. He
No
says, "Say them
burner here.
partners." Nope. Official account: Beasley, Julio, Pitts, or Schultz. Both out. Oh, sorry. 2 different questions.
Yeah.
Beasley or Julio, and Pitts or Schultz. Half PPR both. You said it was going to be a Beasley game. Is that still your stance over Julio?
I do think it's going to be a Beasley game,
Mm.
but I also think it's going to be a Julio game.
Hmm.
I have Julio right now 24th in my rankings, Beasley 26th. I am much
All right.
higher on both of those guys as consensus, at least 10 spots above expert consensus. But
Interesting.
like you said, like I've been a good ranker of wide receivers just typically the last few
Yep.
weeks, and that's because I've just been saying fuck you consensus. I'm gonna do what I think is right. And I think both are lining up to have very nice games in half PPR. I'm going Julio Jones. He has more likelihood of finding the end zone, and he's really the only weapon out there for Ryan Tannehill.
You know what? I agree. I mean, one, he's Julio Jones. Two, is the only weapon. Three, he's getting passes from Ryan Tannehill, not Matt Ryan. So
Yeah.
also a plus. As for the second question,
Listen, Kyle Pitts, your time will come. It's not this year.
yep, I agree. He has been decent for rookie tight end standards. But
Exactly. Everyone
that said,
he is having a historic rookie tight end season. Whatever, that still doesn't mean anything. That's still not good for fantasy. You still keep plugging into your lineup to get 5 points. He's not even the best rookie tight end option right now. Shout out Pat Fryermuth.
Insane.
So
shout out Man who called it in the offseason, called him Baby Gronk. So there you go.
I'm rolling with Dalton Schultz.
I agree, 100%, no question about it. And Washington is a better matchup than Carolina for tight ends too. So even if they were kind of equal in points per game in situation, Schultz still gets the edge. Schultz has been better, so no question about it.
Talking about Washington, I prefer Seals Jones to Pitts too.
Oh yeah. That's a little bit riskier, but Seals Jones is, you know what, my sleeper this week. So there you go. Remember the Crowder, Russell Gage, and Van Jefferson question? Well, we just got the info that it's full PPR. Does that change anything about your answer?
It makes it tougher for sure. It makes Crowder more enticing. I can't go away from Van Jefferson.
Fair. That's fair. I'll trust you, man. Like I said, in these tight questions where I don't have a strong case for the other guy, I'll just defer to you, the Mr. Top 3 in wide receiver rankings. So another one from Big Will. He says half point PPR dynasty. He's going like the Matt route with the info. CD, Godwin, Higgins, Renfro, Gage, Hollywood, Guyton. Need to start 4. I'm sitting Guyton just first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
Gage. Yeah. Easy as that. So it's going CD, Godwin, Higgins, Renfro. Ooh, we need to set one more.
Oh, Hollywood's also there. Okay, so there is a tough decision to make.
Okay, here. Yeah. So it's between CD, Godwin, Higgins, Renfro, and Hollywood. Need to sit one, not seat.
Renfro's been too good. Higgins is on a mission right now.
Yes.
CD Lamb is too good. So the question here is
Godwin or Hollywood?
Godwin's been great too. I think Hollywood Brown's the odd man out right now.
Without Greg Newsome, their rookie star cornerback is out for this game, which is very interesting.
I mean, Hollywood has 17 targets last 2 games, even though he's been not doing so great. 30 targets the last 3 games he's played, even though he hasn't surpassed 10 half PPR fantasy points. Like, the time is coming for him to break out. Over CD, Godwin, Higgins, and Renfro, though, I don't know if I'm going to take that gamble.
It is tough.
I don't think I could do it.
So, sit Hollywood is what you're saying.
Sit Hollywood got an engage, in my opinion. Yeah.
All right. Godwin, I don't know, man. Godwin's the only one I'd consider. But, nah, fine. Yeah, sit Marquise Brown. Because I was scared a little bit of Buffalo.
Yeah, I get
it's Tom Brady. So, nothing really to be scared of. And
Godwin's just been so good since AB went out.
True. And he's going to still be out for a while now. So, all right, yeah, say Hollywood Brown and start your like incredible wide receiver core otherwise, because that's very good.
That's what I'm loving most about all this. Everyone has great teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Next up we have Half PPR. Oh no, how another one from Michael Petropoulos first. Devonta Freeman or Jeff Wilson. I think we answered a similar one earlier, and no, it wasn't just like this. But what do you think? I wanna hear your thoughts here.
Yeah, earlier it was Michelle or Freeman, and I
Yeah.
think that's a more clear cut start Michelle. In
Okay.
this one, I have Freeman and Wilson back to back in my rankings.
Mm.
I think
Mm.
it's a really tough and close call here. Half PPR doesn't really separate them either. Both likely going to get similar amount of work. My gut tells me
Let's
give
say it at
Jeff
the same
Wilson a
time.
shot.
Oh shit, I was gonna say
Oh,
Freeman.
sorry. I think it's a coin toss, man. I think that Freeman has the higher floor. Wilson has the higher ceiling, in my opinion. Like I don't see Freeman finding the end zone multiple times.
Maybe not multiple, but maybe one time.
No, definitely he could find the end zone. He has 5 touchdowns on the year, and he didn't even start playing till week 6. But I just feel like a starting running back in a 49ers offense can get a lot of work. Although Dibo coming in, is Jeff Wilson even the starting running back?
That's true. That's true. We have another one, another running back we're not taking into account.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I changed my answer to Freeman.
That's very good point. I did not think about that either. But yeah, Debo's gonna get like, I don't know, 9-10 rushes, and you have also Jermichael Hasty, who's the brutal sleeper for the week as well. Yeah, I think that tips the scale, doesn't it?
Slight edge to Freeman.
Yeah, there you go. So good luck, Mike. Another one from Big Will, half PPR, redraft, pick 2. Higgins, Ayuk, Bateman, Mooney. Higgins and Ayuk, probably.
Higgins
Mooney
and
has
Ayuk.
a case. Yeah, but yeah, Higgins and Ayuk is the
I mean, Mooney does have a case.
I'm not starting Bateman, that's for sure, but Mooney has a case.
Yeah. Mooney is also, like, you saw how low his floor was last week. Green Bay is a pretty good defense.
True.
Justin Fields isn't a very good quarterback.
Also true. Brodo bust of the week.
I don't know, man. I definitely think you start T. Higgins. After that, I'm going to go with
for
Ayuk.
sure. Yeah. You know what? I agree. He's back in a fully healthy offense. Like gets Kittle and Dibo completely healthy. So that may be an area of concern for some. I still think Ayuk is a better play than Mooney against Green Bay. It's tough. It's not as a clear cut as it could be, but yeah, Higgins, Ayuk. I think that's the play.
Yeah.
All right, another one from Funky Monkey Nuts, number 2. Beasley or Tre'Quan Smith or Austin Hooper, no fan. Yeah, he says he leans Hooper, and I agree. Out of the two, because no fan, I liked him in the offseason, but like Teddy Bridgewater has not been good. So I cannot trust him anymore. Now the other one, Beasley or Tre'Quan Smith. What do you think?
Yeah, quick shout out to Austin Hooper. It's Austin Hooper week, folks. Me and Cass both agree. Very good streaming option, definitely over Noah Fant. The other one, I am taking the gamble on Cole Beasley. I'm taking the chance that, look, we know there's enough evidence in week 14 that the Bucs are a zone first defense. There's enough evidence by week 14 that we know that Cole Beasley beats the zone. I may be relying on that a little bit too much, but Cole Beasley has had good games this year. He's died off a little bit, as has Emmanuel Sanders. But I'm just taking the shot here that, Josh Allen and the Bills are going to have to score points. It's going to be a fun matchup to watch, and I think Beasley is going to go back to one of those games that we haven't seen in a bit where he gets 10 targets.
True, possible. And Tre'Quan Smith has been very inconsistent. I liked him a little bit more now that Deontay's out, but still targets are earned, and he's still getting balls from Taysom Hill, who's a very good fantasy QB, but real life QB, not so much. So I'm with you.
I know the situation Tim's in. This is a win and you're in our home league. And I think Cole Beasley just has more upside.
Yeah.
Tre'Quan Smith could find the end zone against the Jets. Or it's going to be a Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara game.
Yeah. For sure. So yeah, Beasley and we both agreed on the Hooper week. Well, we didn't even talk about it. Like I tweeted about it, and then you approved the message. Just completely independent thoughts, but we're connected, bro. We've always known we're connected.
Eh,
So there you go, Tim. Good luck. You have another one from Big Will, Dawson Knox or Ricky Seals Bones. Ricky Seals Jones, for those who are not aware of Roto lore. But yeah, he's Ricky Seals Jones is my sleeper for this week, but I'm still going Knox over him.
Yeah, exactly. Seals Jones is a nice sleeper streamer if you have other options like Pitts, Higby, Fant, Cooper,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
if you're in that group, Ricky Seals Jones makes sense.
yeah. But Knox is in a different
Cooper's
group.
my favorite streamer. Seals Jones is my second favorite streamer. But I
Fair,
agree.
fair,
Dawson Knox has separated himself as an every week tight end one.
for sure.
Don't let last week's game scare you.
Even I think it was 2 weeks ago when he had a very tough matchup and still delivered. So that for tight end is very impressive. It's just a sign of elite tight endry. So, so yeah, can trust him more confidently. Right, we have another one from. Well, this is a comment from Austin Curtis, who says he got Stafford, Cup, and Hopkins. So he's also plugging in Ben Jefferson and going all in on Monday night. That's gonna be awesome, man.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's very fun. That's something people don't take into account as often as they should when they're start sit decisions. You gotta ask yourself, which is gonna be the most fun to root for and to watch. If it's tight, you go with the most fun. And
People
he made the
often
right
forget
decision.
that fantasy football is there to have fun with.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, if it was predictable, it wouldn't be fun. No one would play.
Yep.
What's the point if you know what's going to happen? Trying to make predictions, that's the fun stuff.
Oh yeah,
Good luck,
and if you can find something that you want to root for and start them like if you're between two guys and one you want to root for, you start that guy. He's your guy. You want to root for a touchdown for him. So he made the right decision. Thanks, guys. Hey, you're welcome, Austin. Good luck. Sama says, thanks, guys. You guys are great. Man, you are great. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your
Thank you,
questions.
my guy.
FF Pulse
Or
88. Yeah. Well, we don't know. Who do you guys think leads the Titans backfield today? Next question. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, man. Hilliard, probably.
You know, Hilliard had that like long run where
True.
it made headlines, but Deontay Foreman's the guy who had 19 rushes, who also played pretty well.
Yeah.
If I had to put my money on one, it would be Foreman. Foreman had more rushes.
The
He looked
veteran
decent.
presence.
Yeah. It's definitely down to those two. I don't think Jeremy McNichols is going to come back and lead the rushing group. He might get the passing work, which makes the ceiling of the other guys lower.
Even, bro. Yeah. I would
I'm going Foreman.
Yeah, I'd avoid, first of all. Like if I know some people are pretty desperate with all the late out guys that recently popped up, but I still would avoid at all costs.
I think Deontay is more of like a cheap flyer in DFS. Hope that he gets the majority of the carries and finds the end zone twice against Jacksonville. In redraft, he's a lot riskier.
Redraft is where we're at. He's FF Pulse 88. For those who don't know, is pretty much the main DFS correspondent for Brodo. So he knows all about that DFS. But redraft, it's a different story. You gotta switch your mindset. So yeah, I have to agree with you. If I had to bet on a guy, it's Foreman. But otherwise, I'm not a fan. Nick Hobie, I guess. MVS or Jalen Guyton? MVS, right?
MVS. Yeah. If you weren't on earlier, I'll just give my quick spiel.
Go ahead.
He has his average depth of target the last few weeks has been 20. He has 19 targets in the last 2 games, and the Bears are one of the worst teams against the deep ball. All of that equals me liking MVS this week. So give me that guy.
That's absolutely the right argument. So we trust in Jason, and Jalen Guyton was a nice play with Mike Williams out. With Mike Williams in, not so much.
Yeah, he's still a play, but not a slam.
Not a good play. Yeah. Justin Credible asks, Wilson, I'm assuming Jeff, Freeman or Foreman?
Similar to the question Michael asked us.
Yeah.
I think Foreman's the odd man out. All of these guys in timeshares, but I think Foreman is the guy who could split the work with more people.
And out of the other two, that's the one we already discussed, right? Yeah, but yeah, Freeman, because we took into account the Dibo. part. Ooh, another interesting question. We have like a lot of permutations of the same guys, but Nick Doso asks Beasley or MBS PPR.
This is the toughest question
Yeah, it is
today
tough.
because
They're two completely different players, but that could have similar outputs and similar range of outcomes too. But they play completely different roles, so that makes it very very
exactly.
cool.
And like average up to target does not coincide with PPR production.
I would even argue that lower depth of target is better for PPR.
Yeah. Beasley's safer, but I'm taking the upside shot on MVS. I like him a lot this week. I have them both in my 20s in my wide receiver rankings.
I think this is a classic floor versus ceiling play. Like if you need a consistent floor for PPR, you go with the slot short A dot guy in Beasley. If you need a home run shot, you go with MVS, who could store 2 long TDs against the Bears. So it is textbook floor versus ceiling, and I love it. So there you go, Nick. Good luck with that. Hopefully you have a clear understanding after Thursday night of what you need and make the right play. Brandon Eaton says Taysom Hill or Burrow. It's Taysom. Yeah. Just the rushing floor makes him extremely valuable. He threw 4 picks last week, and he still finished as a QB. Like I think it was top 5 QB in regular fantasy scoring, which is just insane because he has that insane rushing upside that just makes him the cheat code, basically.
Yeah, him and Kamara might run for 300 yards today. So I'm taking
absolutely.
That all day.
I mean, yeah, if you can bet the over on that, please do. All right, easy as that. Another one from Big Will. He says, Dibo playing. Do I play Jeff Wilson, Esquire, or Ty Johnson? Eesh.
Big Will, Mr. Esquire. I'm going Jeff Wilson still. Dibo playing hurts his stock a little bit, but Ty Johnson hasn't really had a role since week 5. Like, I'm taking the shot on Jeff Wilson. He's still the lead back, or at least the second option, the main backfield option.
Yeah, fine. That's fair. But yeah, I don't trust Ty Johnson at all this week. So Jeff Wilson it is. Another one from Joe. He says, do you like Taysom over Carr in 6-point passing TDs? Yes.
Yeah,
especially against the Jets.
I'm still going Taysom.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it. I get the enticement of passing touchdowns equaling rushing touchdowns. I just still think that Taysom Hill is going to score more touchdowns, whether on the ground or through the air.
That's completely fair. And rushing yards. You cannot discount rushing yards. Like he had 100+ last time he was out. Now he's facing the Jets. So that's like the rushing yard farm for QBs and running backs alike. Yeah. So it's Taysom time. Fabian Mantilla asks, you guys helped me on last question. Thanks a lot. Last one, though. I played Pat as my tight end this week, and I have 2 flex spots to fill. Follow up. Filled one with Sterling Shepard and the other one between Zach Ertz, Marvin Jones, leaving Ertz in and possibly putting in Edmonds if he's activated. Interesting. Oh, look at that. And hello. Thanks again for your help, and shout out Santi for pronouncing my name right. So
there it is. We all appreciate that. It sounds marvelous. I get the appeal of, like, leave Marvin Jones out, and then you could decide between Ertz and Edmonds tomorrow night. I think that's a smart move.
Absolutely.
But unless there's reports where it's like Edmonds is going to start and have his roll back, like I'm just going to go with Zach Ertz. I don't know how you could trust Chase Edmonds this week.
True. But I mean, if he's in, he doesn't need his. Well, no one really filled his role like as a pass catching running back. Yeah, Connor got a couple targets, but he was still getting like 1 or 2 targets per game. Edmonds was getting like 5, if I recall correctly. So that's still his role. And Connor just got like an enlarged version of his role. He didn't take over the Edmonds role. So I don't hate it if he's active, but since you have Ertz, I agree with Jason. You can just play Ertz and be happier and safer that way. Depends, like coming into Monday night, what you need. If you need a home run play or just a solid floor play, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
But yeah, that's very smart of you to
breaking news. Thanks to Joe Arias in our comments. David Johnson's out with COVID.
Look at that. So that's interesting. I'm still not starting Burkhead confidently. Like it depends on who your options who your options are, but I don't like it like at all.
Yeah, I moves the needle, I guess, a little bit on Burkhead, but not enough for me to call him a must start.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because we saw him alone a couple weeks ago, and he got 35 yards, and people got mad at us for it. But anyway, that was crazy. Brian McSheridan says Tyrique or Dibo. Tyrique.
Tyrique. Yeah, Tyrique's too good to take the chance that Dibo isn't fully healthy and is a gimmick player or just doesn't get the amount of work that he usually gets. I'm rolling with Tyrique.
Yeah, I agree. We have another one from oh boy, Jugra Spada, and then he says choose two: Cole Beasley, Jalen Guyton, Jarvis Land. I like the vertical bar style. So Beasley, Guyton, Landry, Smith, Callaway. Beasley is in.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now we have to pick one from Guyton, Landry, Traquan, or Callaway. This is not easy, honestly.
No,
I don't want to start Guyton, so maybe Landry, Smith, or Callaway. Landry?
Landry is the safest option. If it's PPR, I'm cool with Landry. I don't hate Jalen Guyton, even though Mike Williams is.
Yeah, he's probably at the same level as Callaway or Smith.
It's not Callaway. I prefer Traquan Smith.
That we can agree on.
So then it's definitely Beasley. Then it's between Guyton, Landry. If it's
Smith.
PPR, I'm going Landry. If it's anything lower than that, I'll take the shot on Guyton. None of these guys entice me enough.
Yeah, no, they're not great. For me, I would start Beasley if it's PPR, Landry. If it's not PPR, I would go Smith instead of Guyton. But hopefully it's PPR and you can save yourself the trouble. But all right. That's a tough question. Beasley's in. Landry is a PPR play, and Guyton or Smith non-PPR. So good luck with that. Jugrash, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I doubt it, but right, we have one from Miss Petrop.
Ooh, there it is. Maria, how you doing? Tim's wife.
Oh, that's Maria. Yeah, I was
my sister from another mister.
Jesus. All right. Daryl Williams, McNichols, or Hasty. This is tough, man. Not necessarily in the best way, but
I have my answer. I'm going Daryl Williams. I think with Dibo back, Hasty becomes less of an enticing play.
Yeah,
because Dibo can get work out of the backfield. McNichols, I'm not convinced he's going to get 5 targets.
Yeah.
So Daryl Williams, who does have a role in his offense for sure. I'm rolling with Daryl Williams, who could find the end zone too. It's not like CEH is their guy who they always have in the red zone, and he does get passing work. He led the Chiefs in receiving last week with 60 yards. So I'm rolling with Daryl Williams.
You know what? Yeah, I think something I saw someone point out on Twitter is that the Chiefs are finally figuring out how to have a committee backfield with CEH and Daryl Williams. Williams has been great in the pass catching role, and I think this evolution is great for the team and also for fantasy because we have a clearer vision of what they might do. And I do like your Williams argument, and by process of elimination, Williams it is. So Good luck, Maria. Hopefully it works out. Ooh, we got another one from Big Will. The man's on fire today. Very last question. Half PPR. Who do I play between Mooney, Bateman, Seals, Jones, and Ty Johnson? It's Mooney, right? Or Seals Jones is like my backup, but I think Mooney has a little bit more.
It's Mooney. Potential. Mooney's been good enough to get that. I know we're not the biggest Mooney fans because it's an offense where his true target value is very low. But he has been making plays, and it's not like any of those people around him need to be started. So
true. So yeah, there you go. It's Mooney. Here's Joe coming in with the breaking news of David Johnson. Now we have Omar, another Brodo patron, saying, "What's up, gents? Last second pivot: Ty Johnson or Jermar Jefferson." This is not pretty, but we talked a lot about Ty Johnson so far, and I think just that gives the slight edge to Jermar.
Yeah, I mean, I have both back to back in my rankings, and they're not
Mm.
high in the rankings.
And
So
no, no, not a lot.
they're both not great options. I don't know. I'm giving the slight edge to Ty Johnson.
Ooh, I
I
don't
know
love
we've been
that.
shitting on him all day. I know you're probably going to disagree, but I just think that he has passing upside that Jermar Jefferson might not have.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be our first official disagreement because I like Jermar Jefferson. He's in a better matchup because I mean the Jets are still getting New Orleans, bro. Like nobody can rush on him except Miles Sanders for some weird reason. So I just don't like. He's like a third option. Usually, right now he's probably gonna split with Austin Walter, who we didn't know who he was 2 weeks ago. So I cannot trust Ty Johnson. I think I'd prefer to take a shot on Jermar Jefferson, who we've seen get some at least some work with the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
It's not pretty, but it
No.
is what it is. Also, he says that Christmas sweater is fire.
Oh, snap.
That is great. I mean, honestly, that Shrek
He says
crossover
it
is always
because
appreciated.
his leg falls off. That's why.
Good stuff. Good stuff. One from Charles Kearney. He says, not so much a this week question, but what do we think? Tua and Tanny is a good 1-2 punch for the players, or should I look for a streaming? That's pretty decent. And like if you could have a rushing guy out of the waivers, I know some people dropped. I don't know, Cam or Taysom. No, maybe not Taysom, but Cam for sure. You could have him as a backup plan, but I think it's decent. What do you think?
I mean, to be blunt, it's not ideal to be going
Hmm,
into the playoffs with those two. They
fair.
do offer different upside and different times. Depends on their matchups. They're both matchup dependent. A lot of the reason because their weapons just keep getting hurt. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, AJ Brown, Julio Jones. Like no one's doing them any favors.
True.
Um, so I'm not opposed to you streaming once it turns into playoff time. But
Yeah, no,
they're
a
two decent
100%.
guys to have.
Yeah, yeah. Decent is the right word. Uh, Sadly, Tanny hasn't been the guy we thought he was gonna be. Like, I mean, not even his own fault. Like, he lost Derrick Henry, he lost Julio Jones, he lost AJ Brown. What do you want the guy to do?
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, 2 and 10 is decent. Decent is the right word. And if you can have like a streamer come out of nowhere and light the world on fire, absolutely. But for now, you're solid. Now I want to take a little moment to talk about our sleepers and busts this week. We've mentioned them here and there throughout the show, but one I want to mention because he's not only a sleeper for this week, but he's a sleeper for all playoff teams. So if you're watching and you're pretty sure you're gonna be in the playoffs or have already secured your spot and have an extra bench spot, go get Ricky Seals Jones now because we heard that Logan Thomas is out for the year probably with a knee injury. So Ricky Seals Jones is just back from his injury and now gets the easiest strength of schedule for tight ends remaining the entire year with the I think over 30% in points over average. So that's exactly what you want for a tight end because they're very matchup dependent. Go pick up Seals Jones, get him ready and locked and loaded for the playoffs. He's just great. This is not the best week for him, but Dallas is also not terrible. And like I said, he's back to being the number one tight end, and he has delivered when he is. So that's definitely my sleeper for right now and for the fantasy playoffs. Do you like that, or because I know
Oh
you
yeah.
sometimes don't agree with my calls?
No, I entirely agree. I made a trade earlier in the year in my home league.
Mm.
And in that trade I ended up dealing Darren Waller as a part of it in a package for Alvin Kamara. And I also
Oh,
got back Tyler Higby. And at that point, it was early in the year. I was like, Higby's playing a lot. He'll be pretty good. Yeah, the guy fucking sucks. So now I'm starting Moreau this week, but I picked up Ricky Seals Jones for my playoff push because I am going to make the playoffs.
interesting. Yeah.
Even though I had Kamara and CMC who have fucked me all year. But Ricky Seals Jones been a top 14 tight end every week except one when he started. Logan Thomas has been very good when active. Taylor Heinicke's
Mm.
a good quarterback, man. Like he's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
good enough to make people around him good, and he's good enough to have Washington compete. He's not going to hold the Lombardi Trophy often in his life, but he's going to be out there to
No,
compete.
probably not.
No, so I like Seals Jones as a tight end option the rest of the year. I fully agree.
For sure. Nice. That's validating for me. It's coming from Mr. Top 3 in the tight end rankings. But anyway, my bust this week is Tyler Higby, because he has strung some decent performances recently, uh, but they have been against either soft matchups or with a touchdown. Now he gets Arizona, who a couple years ago they were known for being the softest tight end matchup, but they turned it around, and for the big chunk of this year they were the toughest matchup to play against. Right now, I think they're 28th in matchup, so not quite the worst, but still not good. And they have only allowed 2 TDs all year to tight ends. So taking away that from Higby, he's not a nice option, especially with his efficiency this year, which has been terrible. So I'm just not trusting Higby at all, and I think he's gonna get you 5 points at most. That's where I'm at right now. Those are my sleeper and bust this year. I drew tight end. We alternate positions, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also been reports that Sean McVay might want to use some heavy sets more often after bringing in an extra offensive lineman a few times against Jacksonville. So if that happens, Tyler Higby's not going to be the only tight end on the field. He's probably going to be into block pretty often. Look, at some point, it's week 14, right? He plays a lot. He's always on the field. But there comes a point where you have to say, you know what? This guy sucks. So let me not trust him. And that's Tyler Higby at this point. He's at the do to the fullest.
Yeah, that's fair, man. It's crazy. I think you posted the other day that you were Mike, and he's, I think, second in red zone opportunities amongst tight ends, which is insane because he has not done anything with that. I mean, Braid hasn't really either, but Tyler Higby gets volume and red zone volume and just nothing to show for.
Yeah, perhaps one of the most surprising stats. Higby and Cameron Braid are killing it in red zone opportunities. Yeah, both not doing much with them.
Nope, not at all. This is we have a very, very interesting question from Matt Ward. Cam Newton or Tom Brady? And I know what you're thinking. It's Tom Brady all the way. But he is playing Buffalo, and Cam Newton is getting the softest matchup for QBs, including a top, I think, either 10 or 3 against rushing QBs. So he's in a very good spot with rushing. On the other hand, you have Tom Brady. So what do you do?
Yeah, you know what's funny? Matt is definitely dealing with some personal bias right now, because in the sleepers bus, which we were just talking about,
yeah, that's true.
His sleeper, Matt, was in what's the word I'm looking for? In charge of quarterbacks this week, and he went with Cam Newton. So, do we start Scrubby Magoo or Goat, who has leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns? What do I do? I get it. I get the dilemma. And there's a chance Cam Newton does outscore Tom Brady. Sometimes people make fantasy harder than it has to be, and I'm starting Tom Brady. I'm not sitting Tom Brady for someone who got benched for PJ Walker last time.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I think. Yeah, it's important to remember not to get too cute with what you do, because that's when you lose and you feel stupid because you knew you should have done the other thing and you didn't. So yeah, it's fairly simple. We have some player news actually, because the late window officials actives and inactives just dropped. Officially active is Alvin Kamara, Julio Jones, Curtis Samuel, and Brandon Cooks, the GOAT. So that's the officially active. Officially inactive, we have Tony Pollard, which we knew was out. J.D. McKissick is also officially out. David Johnson.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, that's sad. David Johnson is out. And Ryan Ramczyk is also out, which on the surface it may not seem impactful, but he is the tackle for the best offensive lineman for the Saints. So, I mean, they're playing the Jets. Never mind, doesn't matter.
They might not need him.
Yeah. They put me in. I'll do the same. But yeah, J.D. McKissick is also confirmed out. Is the one where we weren't exactly sure.
Yeah, that's the one that's surprising to me. And To be honest, it's just sad in general. I don't. It's always sad to see people miss multiple games with a concussion
Yeah,
because that means that like they actually like there was really they fucked themselves up a little bit, and you never like to see brain type injuries.
it was tough to watch, definitely.
Yeah, but man, with McKissick out against Dallas, Antonio Gibson is looking like a super workhorse today.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's in a very good spot.
I just moved him to running back 5
Nice,
as we speak. I think
nice. Look at
that
that.
he's about to get 35 touches and go to work. So give me
Yeah,
all that.
oof, absolutely. We have another interesting question derived from the news. Fabian asks, news of David Johnson. I have one more. Would you start Rex Burkhead over Rashad Penny RB2? It's full BPR. No, I would not. I would still go with Rashad Penny because I think the unknown is more fun. We've seen what David Johnson can do in a just cakewalk matchup, and he got, I don't know, 7, 8 points, which is not what you want. And he's not in the cakewalk matchup anymore. So I'm trusting Rashad Penny. Oh, I'm sorry, it was Burkett. But yeah, same sentiment. I'm still going Penny. Do you
I
agree?
agree. Sometimes it all comes down to when you're dealing with a running back who's not very good,
Hmm.
it comes down to who's going to have more opportunities to score, who's going to have more opportunities to find an open lane because of people around him.
Yeah.
And we're dealing with Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, or Davis Mills, Brandon Cooks, and a bunch of
Hey,
nobodies.
don't disrespect the
Davis Mills
goat.
is also exactly. I said a bunch of nobodies. Brandon Cooks is the only guy that anyone would even know his name if you walk down the street and ask a random person. And like, so I'm still starting Rashad Penny, taking the chance there. I don't want to trust the Texans offense. Even Brandon Cooks, man. I know you like Brandon Cooks, but even Brandon Cooks is it's a reach wide receiver 3 for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for sure, he's definitely not someone you want to start. So yeah, go with Rashad Penny still,
That's a Antonio Gibson's gonna eat.
bro. Yes,
He's gonna
definitely
eat.
for sure.
He's gonna. I have him over Zeke now. Even though
Interesting.
Zeke is alone, I prefer Antonio Gibson being alone. Both dealing with injuries, but Gibson's looked
Sure.
great since his bye. Zeke, not so much.
Also true. Also true. I have an interesting question for myself. Seek. Well, no, you said already you prefer Gibson. So Gibson or Cordell Patterson?
That's your only options.
It's more of a hypothetical.
If I had to start one, I'd go Gibson.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Actually,
Go ahead.
it was more slam dunk when Dibo was supposed to be out, but in my home league, half PPR,
Hmm.
I have Sony Michel in. I have Alvin Kamara in. So
Okay.
my
Yeah.
flex is between Jeff Wilson or Chuba Hubbard.
Ooh. Look, I'm relying on Chuba for the Raz Bowl. He's my last chance to get into the championship bracket. Uh, but oh my god,
It's tough,
because
right?
yeah, Jeff Wilson with Debo back could get like, I don't know, 4 points.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I have Jeff Wilson in right now because when Debo was out, I thought, Jeff Wilson's the play
Yeah.
here. He'll get most of the work. With Debo in, it's a little trickier. My only thing is last time we saw the Panthers play, when CMC got hurt, Amir Abdullah had a pretty big role as a pass catcher.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like right now, my RB2 in that league, because I lost CMC, is Sony Michel, Jeff Wilson, Chuba, and
Oh
Abdullah. I
man.
have those 4 guys. So I always have to decide between those 4. And so far with Henderson out, it's been easy to start Michel. But now, like moving forward, I might just roll with Jeff Wilson and see how the snaps between Chuba and Abdullah pan out heading into the playoffs to see where I should go moving forward.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier because I'm basically in the playoffs, unless I lose and get outscored by like 80, which isn't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean that makes it a little bit easier. So go with, I don't know, the upside shot, which I'm not entirely sure who that is. I kind of like Chuba because he has more a greater path to being good. I think just less options in that offense, and especially in the backfield for him to overcome and succeed. So I would start Chuba personally.
I get it. After we finish this, I'm gonna have an hour to just ponder that one question.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. That's also why someone asked me the other day, like, why did I push the show to start a half hour earlier instead of pushing it to finish a half hour after that? It's because I gotta make my own lineup decisions, and I need that hour, I get to process things during crunch time, but then I gotta make my own decisions, set up my DFS stuff, and have breakfast. I have not had breakfast yet, so I need that hour.
Also, it's good to you could still hit us up on Twitter and help
Yeah,
us out.
absolutely.
We can help you out there, and also we have the start sit tool, which is telling me in half PPR format that Chuba Hubbard is the play 64% of the time.
There you go. So
I might have to
you
roll
got
with
all
our
these
app.
options. You got like the empirical, you got the start set tool. And we got another question from Omar. He says, Flex, half PPR, MVS, Jeff Wilson, Beasley, Russell Gage, go.
That's funny. You read it go too, so did I, but he doesn't say go.
No, it says Russell Gage.
Like I read that and I was like, go. I was like, okay, I'll go. And then you said go. I was like, wait, it doesn't say go. That's a tough question, honestly. As I said earlier, I'm leaning MVS. I really like his play, his opportunity here this week. If it was full PPR, it'd be a little trickier with Beasley.
Beasley,
We had a
yeah.
question like that earlier with Beasley and MVS.
Yeah. We call it the perfect ceiling floor play.
Yeah, and then with Jeff Wilson, with Dibo back, a little less enticing play, although I do like him as a plug and play RB2 flex. I'm rolling MVS of that bunch. If it was my team, I'd put it in MVS.
Yeah, fair. I'm going with the super cop out answer, and it's Beasley floor and MVS for ceiling. So you analyze what you need and make the decision based on that. But yeah, I don't think you can go completely wrong between those two. Maybe MVS is a little bit riskier, and Beasley has that nice floor. But I mean, you're good. You're pretty good here. Probably have time for one or two more questions. The crunch time guarantee is that we always answer 100% of the questions we get on YouTube, because if you're on Twitter, we don't see those. But yeah, if you want to get your questions in, this is your last time. We are leaving in about 3 minutes. So go check your teams, get your questions, and we'll do the best to answer them.
Until then, I'll give you some over-unders, Cass.
Ooh, go ahead.
PPR scoring, Alvin Kamara, 20 points.
PPR, oh, it's over, bro. Over, for sure.
Leonard Fournette, 18 points.
You know what? I know people are staying clear of Fournette because he's playing the Bills, but Fournette has just been very good. And I think you said the over-under perfectly, because that's around where I would think he has. So now I'm doubting myself. I'm going under.
Okay. I get that.
No, you know what? No. I'm going over.
I get that too. All right. What about Antonio Gibson, now all alone in that backfield against Dallas?
Yeah.
Over under 18 PPR points.
Over under 18. Over. Yeah. It's probably going to get 20. Just a sad fact. I just checking out my rankings. I left Madison as a top 8 back in my rankings, which is terrible.
Dude, I'm not gonna. I don't know if it was on purpose or not.
Yeah.
Maybe you thought you. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. We use Fantasy Pros as platform for our rankings. It's a very good platform. It makes it very easy for us to rank. I took out Madison and moved up Cook, and then I went to my rankings the next day, and I have Madison at 4, and Cook isn't in. So
you know what? I'm gonna go with you and say I did the same thing, and Fantasy Pro screwed up my shit, but not even sure right now. But honestly,
we do have one question.
Yeah, we do. Mooney, Sun, or Guyton full PPR? I like Mooney, bro.
Yeah, of those options, you got to go Mooney. I know that, like, Cortland Sutton's air yards picked up a little bit last week, but air yards is not a stat we like here. We like adjusted air yards, the Proto exclusive, which tells you which of those are actually catchable.
Yeah, go check that out. But
Cortland Sutton hasn't been very involved, whether adjusted air yards or targets or anything. And then Jalen Guyton
came back.
Yeah, since Judy came back. And then Guyton's a fun play, but Mooney has been good enough to get the start over those guys.
Yeah, I agree. And Mooney gets the targets too. So in full PPR, he's not necessarily only a long range deep shot play, because he gets a ton of targets. And with Fields back, I think he's a good play. Honestly, I'm not trusting Guyton like that, and definitely not Sutton. So Mooney, John, good luck with that. But that's all the time we have for today. We got no more questions. So shout out to everyone that
timing.
joined. Great questions, everyone. Just incredible. Thank you all. We'll be live next Sunday, 10:30 Eastern. Every single Sunday, we answer every single question. I have been Santiago Casanova, joined by Jason Petropoulos. You can find us at Brodo Fantasy on Twitter, BrodoFF Casanova, BrodoFF Jason. Go download the Fantasy Football by Brodo app. You can see it is presented by the Fantasy Football by Brodo app, this show. So check it out. Oh, come on. We got an extra question.
It's all good. The answer is MVS.
There you go. The answer is MVS. But yeah, I cannot not answer because that's the crunch time guarantee. We answer 100% of the questions. With that said,